What up, y'all? What's going on? We're gonna speak about an interesting topic that I've been noticing a lot of people has been touching on, and it's this whole Joe Biden signing laws for everyone else except us. I got news for you. Joe Biden never promised black folk to do anything for you. Last year, when he went on the Breakfast Club, he insinuated to Charlemagne the God that if you got to choose between him or Trump, then you ain't black. Didn't he also ignore Black Lives Matter? He never had a meeting with them. Now, supposedly back in March, he agreed to have a sit down with Ice Cube, but a date hasn't been set. I told y'all back in, I think, October or November, that man has no plans of talking with you black folk. Black people don't want to listen. Black people don't want to learn a lesson. And you wondering why the Asians and the transgenders are getting legislation passed before we do. See, we do this every 4 years collectively as black folk. We come with no agenda. We vote strictly out of fear and emotion, and then expect the candidate to actually do something for us. Just because we voted them in doesn't mean that they are obligated to do anything for us. Black people in this country collectively still don't have a clue on how politics actually works. Your voting power is pretty much negligent at this point. And the reason being is because you have no set agenda. Even you woke folks. Last 2-3 years, y'all was talking about 2020, no tangibles, no vote. What were the tangibles? The tangibles was what? Reparations? They've been throwing up in y'all faces the ability to study the HR 40 Commission on reparations for a long time. There's no need for a study. You can't even get black folks to agree even on reparations. We start speaking on reparations, what's the first thing y'all really gonna talk about? I can tell you a lot of young people and a lot of hood people, they gonna want their bread. Then some of you in well-to-do people and entrepreneurs, y'all gonna want the land. Neither one of y'all is wrong in the equation. The thing is, how do we establish ourselves on getting it, man? And y'all depending on the government to do it for you. I got news for y'all, man. I do not believe for 1 second that the United Snakes of America is going to give us reparations. I just don't believe it. They will have to cripple the economy, and they're not going to do that for us. Now, if they do give it to us, cool. I'm not saying we don't deserve it. We definitely deserve it. For the blood, sweat, and tears our ancestors have had to shed, not only 310 years of slave labor, but another 100 years of Jim Crow de facto desegregation in both the North and the South. And then let's look at the past 60 years since the Civil Rights Bills. First you bring heroin to the community. Then in the 80s you had crack cocaine. Then in the 90s you had mass incarceration. Then in the 2000s you had, man, this explosion of gangster rap, which led to more and more single mother households. Now in the 2010s, you brought homosexuality into the issue. Now in 2020, it's the full demasculation of men, making men more feminine, with the women being more pseudo-masculine. Most of us had on European talking points, and we feed into it simply because we don't want to really do nothing for ourselves. We talk all the time about we gotta do for self, we gotta do for self. Man, the reality is most of us are unwilling to do the work, because the work is very difficult. If white folks were to vanquish off the face of this earth today, man, black people will still be lost. And matter of fact, a lot of us would die just to be with the white people. Our people have no clue collectively on what politics is supposed to produce. Hell, you can't even get black men out here in the streets to protect their own so-called community. You can't even get black women on board with black men on nothing. Too much hatred, too much division, too much tribalism, too much cliquage, man. And we're complaining about Joe Biden signing laws for Asians and Pacific Islanders. We're mad because the first day he got in office, he did something for the transgenders. Well, I got news for y'all, man. They came with an agenda. They came with a plan. They put millions on top of millions of dollars behind Joe Biden. Of course he's going to do something for them. When it comes to politics, and when it comes to how policies are dictated in this country, money does the talking. This is why this is a capitalistic society. Money talks. Bullshit runs a marathon. And the way I look at it, with most black people, we on bullshit. Y'all looking for that white savior so bad, man, instead of doing the work yourself. You don't need no law to stop police brutality. Man, come on, man. Even if they signed that into law, that don't mean cops for to just stop killing niggas. If anything, it's going to intensify, because what's really going on is the demise of white male dominance. That is what's really going on in this country. And you know what black people ain't prepared for, that for some reason we're not even analyzing or looking into, is the fact that you got these white males who got this pseudo masculinity, who's had this power and dominance for so long, and now that it started to invade them, they don't know how to act. And when they don't know how to act, this is when you really see the vindictiveness of these crackers, man. You really see a lot of their devilish nature. But the reality is, many of our people ain't prepared to deal with it, because unfortunately we still looking for a hug from the dominant white society. We want to be accepted by the dominant society. We want to be fully assimilated into the American system. But yet, few Asians get harassed or whatever. Now they go to their constituents, they go to their businessmen, they go to their people who got money, power, and influence, and they get laws passed on their behalf. And another reason why Biden is doing something for them, he can't afford to go to war with China. A lot of them Asians that was getting harassed and beaten and all that, man, a lot of them are from China. You think they won't call up their China power brokers and put that pressure on America? You don't study politics the way it's supposed to be studied, you're gonna get lost in the sauce, man. And that's the sad reality of many of our people. We are lost in the sauce. We do not understand the role of politics. Malcolm X clearly described politics back in 1964.
We must understand the politics of our community. And we must know what politics is supposed to produce. We must know what part politics play in our lives. And until we become politically mature, we will always be misled, led astray, or deceived or maneuvered into supporting someone politically who doesn't have the good of our community at heart. So the political philosophy of black nationalism only means that we will have to carry on a political program of re-education, to open our people's eyes, make us become more politically conscious, politically mature. And then we will, whenever we get ready to cast our ballot, that ballot will be cast for a man of the community who has the good of the community at heart. And
politics is the ability to control the politics and the politicians in your community. It puts the power into the people, meaning that you set the agenda, and you present it to the politician. And then the politician is supposed to work on your behalf, on your agenda. Black people don't have any agendas because we don't believe agendas are going to really work. But the reality is they do. It works for everybody else. Why aren't you allowing it to work for you? Because the majority of us are scared. We are scared. We are scared and frightened, and we're afraid to die. But we ain't afraid of each other. And that's one of the biggest problems. Our mindset is so polluted with fear, divisiveness, corruption, and greed, because we think just like white people do, man. We're fully immersed in this society so bad, man, that when the creator decides to really wreak havoc on this society and bring it to its knees, unfortunately, many of us are going with them. The Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey said it best. If he had to take all of us to Africa, most of us wouldn't make it, because we'll be no good over there as well, no good here. So in conclusion, All of y'all crying about Joe Biden signing laws for Asian people and signing laws for transgenders and ensuring that law and order is to be reinforced, because publicly he may say he's not really down with the police brutality. Privately, he's signing laws to keep those internal orders of police and those law enforcement officers intact. Y'all better study this shit on how it really goes, man. We are too caught up in emotionalism. I said it back in December, January. The media is going to play off those emotions, and by 2022, you're going to see the media's perception of Donald Trump truly change. After all, prior to 2015, Donald Trump, in the eyes of the media, in the overwhelming majority of the American public, was a beloved figure in this country. And so, when they see this massive inflation, which only is going to lead to a recession, then Joe Biden's going to have to take the brunt of the blame for that. There's going to be no more stimulus to bail you out. There's going to be no more getting this extra money or getting this extra money. No more PPP. You know, the Fed's already locking people up for that. So when that money runs out, and when the assistance is being revoked or denied, what are we as black people going to do for our basic survival? Are we going to feed ourselves, clothe ourselves, educate ourselves, defend ourselves, and repair the wounds that we've caused on one another as far as relationships? Are we going to do that, or are we going to continue to complain about Joe Biden not signing the Black Lives Matter bill? And most of you woke folks, y'all really need to quit it, man. Most of y'all out with white supremacy. Y'all talk a good game online, and on the block you seem like you tough. But real talk, y'all not tough at all. You're not busting a grape at your real enemy. All of y'all, man, including NFAC. Y'all put on these marches as if y'all really was with the shits, and people was just laughing at y'all. Y'all won't go into none of them Klan neighborhoods and wreaking havoc on damn one of them crackers. And then when shit hits the fan, you know what happens? Y'all have negligent discharges. I can tell a lot of y'all didn't cut it in the military, man. So I don't expect Joe Biden to do nothing for me nor my people. We out here doing the work, whether y'all like it or not. Only difference is those of us who are out here boots on the ground, we're not afraid of serving the best interests of our people. Many of y'all talking, but most of y'all ain't actually doing the work. So stop crying about Joe Biden doing something for everybody else but you. After all, you should not have ever expected any president to do anything for you, which includes Barack Obama. So that's pretty much all I gotta say pertaining to this issue. Stop the crying, stop the complaining. If you're expecting a white savior, forget it. It's not gonna happen. It's not realistic. It's actually sad that we're still dependent on this system to do something for us. And you better develop a new self-philosophy. You better develop a race-first philosophy. If not, once this country starts to crumble, because it's starting to crumble from within slowly, you're going to be a part of it. And no one is going to care about your wants or needs. 100.